What's up, my writing weirdos? Hey, it is BC, and this is BC Brown Books. You know, we're going to get weird about some words again tonight, specifically about writing a sequel. And I have the lovely Sako Tumi with me, who will be joining me in just a moment. But we're going to do this. The wonderful Sako Tumi, everyone. Oh, Sako, you're muted, babe.
Of course I am.
We all do it. We all do it at some point. I've also brought with me my writing companion for the evening, Thought. On his, yes, it is a lamb chop animal bed.
Which is amazing. Lamb chop, play along too. Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun. But Sako and I have been writing a sequel to Flambeau, which is the first book that we wrote together live on stream. For those of you just tuning in that don't know anything about what's going on, now we're going to do it again. And we're struggling with little bits of this one. It's not flowing as easily, but it is still flowing easily. I feel like. I don't know. What do you feel like?
What do I feel like? I am overwhelmed. I am kind of going into the book 2 unknown outline.
Book 2 unknown outline. Okay. Let me go grab. So for those that don't know, Sako and I share, we do everything through Google Drive. So Google Docs, and we're doing everything through Google Docs. That way we can comment on everything together. We can see everything that each of us puts in. The only thing we're really doing in order to kind of sync ourselves up is if we put something physically into the copy, just to distinguish who put it in there, and like, so she knows to go and look at a note that I might have put in the actual outline, which you can see right here. I put it in a certain color.
Mm-hmm.
And then that way she knows. She tends to put everything in black, which is fine. And then I just go in and I put it in a color, so that I know. And then I do something a little extra. If I'm gonna like quick draft a scene in hopes that we actually use that scene once we get to the point of actually drafting, I kind of put it in there, and I've been putting it in a slightly different color. But she pretty much understands. If it's in a color, I put it in there, and I need her.
Okay. And I will write in either black or teal, depending.
Yeah. So I want to say, hey to everybody, pop it in. We got Felicia. Hi. And Debbie is here. Hi, Debbie. Yeah. Me? No, that would be the spot.
Yeah, that would be the bed. Yeah.
That would be Spoticus Maximus Orangicus, which is his official name.
Ah, I see. Hi, Cool
Gabe. Good to see you.
Thanks for dropping by.
We do appreciate it. That's pretty much what we're doing too. I mean, we're in the brainstorming / outlining phase, which is, word vomit every idea that we possibly have up, whether it's in the comments or to each other, or it's in the actual outline itself. And so we're kind of still in that phase. What Sako and I are struggling with tonight is the road of trials in the outline. So this is basically 1, 2, 3 tests that the protagonist needs to overcome during like the story at some point. Kind of just coming up here in a row. So they are usually and typically like little minor subplots of the main plot, like them trying to do something that will influence the main plot. at some point. We are struggling to come up with third test at the moment. I feel like I don't know. To me, it's because I feel like we have a really concise, well-paced story going as is.
At least I'd like to think so. We've been kind of hopping around a little bit, so keeping the plot points separate has been tricky for me.
It has a little bit for me, but I think now that we've got a much cleaner copy, because we had so much back and forth initially on our initial outline, that I think that was the main difficulty. So gonna attempt to script more of chapter 10. Let's go. Good to see you, RC. Always good to see you.
Good to see you. I hope he will be writing.
Yes, I hope so too. Just based off of everything you've told me about his writing. So yeah, I think
one more trial.
One more trial. That's the thing.
So he fails trial number 2,
which we just came up with, audience, off the tip of our tongues just a few moments before we started the stream, essentially.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I would love to see this happen. I don't know how we can make it happen exactly, but that's kind of what we did. So we've got to come up with a third trial for Kyler, our protagonist, to go through. Yes, we definitely need to do the wording. We'll get started on that in just a second, as a matter of fact. I need to do something because I just realized I still have a timer set for 25. So, there we go. We decided we were going to do 20 minutes. Okay. So, all right, let's go ahead and do a sprint. And hopefully, maybe we can go through the comments a little bit. And maybe something will trigger for trial number 3. I don't know.
I might go tap a smoke and see if I can, because that's like thinking time for me.
Oh yeah, totally.
So I'll see if I can come up with another test.
Okay, cool. So all right, everybody, we are going to. I'm going to take this down, and oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh. Now I got buttons doing weird things. We are going to bring up our little Pomodoro kitty. Yay. Starting to write in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beep, 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 beep. That is it for the first sprint, y'all. How did you do? Sorry, I just sometimes crack myself up for no apparent reason. All right, so Sako went out for a smoke because it is like her creative trying to come up with something. I think I may have come up with a, a third test for our protagonist to go through. It's going to be entirely, I mean, I've got to wait at this point to see if she's cool with it, see what her idea was. Might be cooler. I don't know. All right. The damn cat made you jump. It is so loud. Like, that meow is just insanely loud. And it, like, every time, it made me jump too. Because I, like, saw the double zero, you know, like, pop up on the timer. And I was, like, ready for the cat to meow. And it still scared the Jesus. Every day. But yeah, it's so funny because every time it happens, like when my cat can hear it, he will totally pop his head up back there. And he'll be like, what the fuck? He's like, who is that? There's an unknown meow. I am going to wait just a smidgen before I get mine. Because I'm sorry. Because I was saying you had stepped out to like smoke and get your creative juices away. She's like, $20.
You just lost
like,
$20.
No moth today, RC. No moth.
You just lost $20.
You did. You
did.
You told people to click the like. The algorithm likes when people get weird with my buttons, and it promotes things more. So you did. Every little bit counts. But yeah, I was saying because we have some hardcore thinking that we got to do around this damn third test that we've got to put our character through. That's yeah. I'm gonna hold off on mine just a little bit. I can think with mine pretty much, but I've had a rough day. It's been a long, hard day, and all it's gonna do is veg me to the point of don't care. Really messed up the audio for your next video. I hate when I do that. I've only done it a couple of times. Where I've just I don't know what happened to my audio like during recording. It just came across all corrupted. My video was fine though. My video looked great. I had to re-record. I was like, dang it. Uh-oh. Somebody's written into a box.
That isn't with an info dump that isn't necessary for the story. So rewriting the scene.
That's not bad though. I mean, you're eliminating an info dump, some extraneous exposition that does not need to be there. Two, that's gonna like up your pacing, like speed pacing up a little bit. The only bad thing is, it causes a little bit of rewrite, which we all love and hate. Because we're all like, I'm gonna rewrite the scene because I don't like it. And then we're like, oh, I gotta rewrite the scene. Okay, so I did have an idea, Sako, during the sprint.
Okay.
For the third test.
Yes.
I had an idea also for reasoning for the second test, but we'll get there in a second. Third test is important. So, you had mentioned Julio, and I thought maybe we would. So I put it in the streamlined copy, but so Julio reaches out to Kyler to get connected to the rebels. By the way, I was leaning towards, of the names of the rebels, I was leaning toward either the Unbound or the Reformation. I prefer
kind of thinking the Unbound.
See, I prefer that one because the Reformation is a little too churchy for me. And we've already got like churchy cult going on. So
we already have a cult thing going. Yeah.
All right. So I think we have the name of our rebels. It's so cool.
No.
RC's writing a spicy scene in a body. Oops. Hey, it's time for us to sprint again, but I'm going to pause it for just a second because I'm going to cover this trial. And a body horror story. Going full body with this one.
Nice.
Yeah, well, I tend to get distracted by Twitch a lot too, especially when
I was thinking of watching Scary Sarah DJ set while we were doing this thing too.
Hey, whatever, get you going. We'll record the audio tomorrow. Tonight, brainstorming. Yeah, batch recording is good and bad. Just because
there are benefits to both.
Yeah.
But there are drawbacks to both.
But there are drawbacks. One of the big drawbacks is the time sink. Like, serious, like, you've got to pretty much spend a whole day just batch recording because you got to plan. If you're like me, I don't like to be wearing the same outfit in every video when I'm batch recording. So you got to plan all that. You got to plan changing things around. It takes a lot of work, but you know, RC.
Who is on first base?
Scary lady, Sarah, because RC had to put the pen down, so can't type. No, I'm just joking. See, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
All right. So Julio reaches out to Kyler to get connected to the Unbound, our rebels. He needs the help with the rebels because some not yet enthralled humans, you know, he's still trying to work against his demon as much as possible. Okay. You know, working towards his redemption because that was important to Dasaku. And then so Kyler and the rebels go to help Julio, but they very nearly fail. So it's a trial, it's a test. It's just an idea. And it's all I came up with.
Still trying to work against his demon as much as possible without pissing off his demon to redeem himself because it was important to Daisaku.
Yeah, we laid down that they were, I don't know that it went into the story, but we laid down in the outline for book 1 that they were childhood friends of some sort. Yeah. It was important to Daisaku that Julio become unenthralled, basically. At some point. We had laid down that I think they were childhood friends. Daisaku with his powers went the way of like good, and Julio went the way of like bad.
Right.
So, I think that's what we had put in there. So this was my riff off of that. A way to be able to touch base with Julio again, which allows us, I'm not saying we have to use him in this one to use him in book 3, but it gives a nice little in, like just a little nod back to book 1 and gives us a third test.
I like the idea of using the tests to get Kyler more associated with the Unbound.
Yes. Which I'm going to change that officially in here. Yeah, so
with some not yet enthralled humans.
Yeah, like so his demon is attempting to enthrall, you know, 1 or 2. It doesn't have to be a whole bunch. Like maybe a brother-sister combo or siblings or whatever. Trying to enthrall them. And this is one of these ways he can like kind of drop a hint, get the Unbound to come in here and like help him because he doesn't have Daisaku anymore to rely on, and Justicia's maybe off the map, you know, which we kind of established with 2 for some reason. Kyler can't even locate her, so maybe Julio can't either.
Yeah. So Kyler might go to Julio in an attempt to track down Justicia?
So what I'm thinking is Kyler and the Unbound, you know, they come to help. And it just almost completely goes wrong. But they like pull it out in the end. Like, so we had established in book 1, Kyler has before worked, been rescued by the rebels, by the Unbound.
Right.
Trying to, because they were trying to save another seer by themselves, stupidly.
Right.
And that's how they got hooked up with the Unbound in the first place. So, I mean, Kyler's used to kind of chipping in on missions here and there. It might be also a much needed distraction, depending on where we put it in the book. Where exactly, how we put it in there is what I mean, not where we put it in. I know where we put it in, it's right here. But how we put it in. It might be like a much needed just basically a much needed, distraction for a few moments just to keep, so that Kyler doesn't go nuts thinking about everything going on with the vamps and the church and everything.
What is up with the humans? Is it that they are being protected by the Unbound? Or they're going to be protected by the Unbound?
Yeah. Okay. So, the council dispatched Daisaku to help save Justicia. So this is 2 unknown, I'm saying 2, it doesn't matter how many, 1 or 2 unknown mages that the council maybe doesn't think they're powerful enough to care if they're enthralled with demons.
Okay.
And so the Unbound is like, no, that's not going to fly.
Okay.
So we're going to help. So basically, Julio says, hey, Kyler, I need a favor. Trying to still work against, my bad dude master. And can you help me? And Kyler goes, I got this network.
Yeah.
That helped before. So maybe we'll try. We'll take a little strike team. Try to help.
Okay.
It's the only thing I could come up with. Because, this is right after Kyler decides they're going to jump in both feet into this whole vampire slaying cult thing. And they're still, at this point, they're still questioning themselves, like their abilities and how important they are. Still early enough for that. So
Doricia. Sorry,
No, go ahead.
My brain's all over the place.
So is mine.
Doricia talks to Daisaku, right?
That's later. We have that.
That's in the apotheosis. Jesus.
Hey, there are words. I just can't.
So what? I know Kyler wants to talk to Daisaku. Daisaku gets the green light to possess Kyler to talk to Doricia. Ghost of Tiamat. Tiamat. Not a loved one.
Yeah. So we have the whole Doricia, Kyler communing and channeling Daisaku in day 16 and day 17. Yeah. So that would be after this.
They can be the same scene.
They could be.
Like one scene kind of bleeding into the next. Like.
Yeah, they absolutely could be. So I don't think we necessarily.
But I was thinking the spirits being severed from their bodies. as intel from Daisaku from the spirit world?
So I did put some in the streamlined copy. I do have some notes in here.
Mhm.
I like it, except having Zebi and the cult have evil mages. Like, if they had mages, period, they're going to be on the council's radar.
Maybe.
That definitely would be.
You think so?
Oh yeah. I mean, the council cares about Tyler, who's just a lowly clairvoyant, because they have definitive, like, the ability to, like, hone in and control their abilities. Just like they were interested in Daisaku, just like they were interested in Justicia. Anybody who could seem powerful, they're keeping tabs on. And these guys are these mages in the church are supposedly powerful enough to be able to actually sever an astral connection with a body. I mean, that's a lot of power. So, and I mean, if the council was not aware of them, the rebels would be, the Unbound would be. They make it a point to pick up the strays. So that tips the hand too soon for the cult.
The whole thing with Peggy.
So Peggy wants the cult to be as off the magical radar as possible. That's why they're specifically, like, manipulating them into attacking the vampires, because the council doesn't care about the vampires, and nobody else really cares about the vampires, since the vampires don't participate in the politics.
Right.
So I just think Peggy is just going to want to keep it as tamped down as possible. Like her own little incubator of, let's see how this works. Maybe I'll get the vampires out of this. That kind of was my thought there.
I like that thought. It's just how to tell that story.
What do you mean, how to tell the story?
That's like almost meta plot level.
I think it could just be left out.
Roger.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be it doesn't even have to be mentioned.
How about there's got to be a reason why they would contact Daisaku.
My thoughts are to get word to heaven. Some shit is going down, and hell is going to get more powerful.
So he wants contact with heaven, which would explain why he's trying to get a hold of Justicia.
So he can't get a hold of
why don't we
living.
Make that clear? Why don't we make that clear when they're trying to
get her
the first time, and then when they fail, then they go into the Unbound network trying to find another way to talk to heaven.
I don't think, well, I mean, Doricia can just be present when Kyler comes up with, or Doricia can even say, like, when she's meeting with Kyler or something, hey, you couldn't get the mentee, how about you try connecting the mentor, the one who's actually in heaven? I mean,
yes, I like this better.
Okay. I'm gonna check off this comment. so that we can start sprint. And then I will put it in day 16, atonement with the father, day 17, apotheosis during the sprint. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Cool. All right. And y'all, that's how Sako and I go back and forth on stuff. Like we didn't go back and forth. I feel like book 1, we were so like I tossed an idea, you tossed an idea, we both went yes. And there were very few things that we had to pluck out. I feel like with Flambeau, where we were like, nah, I don't like that, to each other's stuff. There were plenty of
There was a little bit of like finagling and a little bit of back and forth, a little bit about some of the plot. I'm
just not sure it was as much. That's what I feel like. I just don't feel like it was.
Oh, maybe that we're bumping heads a little
more on this one, but the plot and plots are getting more complicated, and our world building and our lore is getting more complicated. So we're going to have a lot more back and forth, and that is one of the things with writing sequels, trilogies, basically follow-up books that are linked. It's going to get more and more and more, and you're going to build out more, and you're going to come up with all these ideas. And a lot of them are going to have to be scrapped, and you're going to have to go back to the drawing board because they just don't quite work. So just letting everyone know. All right. All right, Pomodoro Kitty, it's at 1955. I am not re-clearing it for 55 seconds. So, or for 5 seconds. So,
yeah.
And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, everybody. Right. Okay, that is it. Bibbidi beep, bibbidi beep, bibbidi beep. So for that sprint, hopefully everybody got some cool stuff down. I tried to give a heads up for the kitty about 45 seconds before it happened. Hopefully you were able to glance up at some point and understand the kitty was going to go off. Okay.
5 minutes. 5 minutes break.
5 minutes. That's all I have down like to begin with. They probably need to be a lot longer since you and I are like hashing out so much right now. But
yeah.
So good news, watchers.
New character.
We get to come up with a new character, and we came to some like equilibrium in a couple of places that we were like, what about this? What about this? What about this? So that's always awesome. And yes, we both got us super excited about new character, just a little side character, not hugely important, but a key role, or else our protagonists wouldn't kind of like get to the place they need to get to, as far as like powering up and like leveling up and becoming the badass they need to become.
Right.
So y'all can see it on the screen. It's kind of right there. I do want to bounce up to day 15 for the midpoint and the reversal. I saw you started to bounce up there, but then the timer was going off. I'm a little worried about this part.
I
put the comment in, but
maybe not because there's a rumor, but
I was just thinking, like this part, I love him being taken. I love him being tortured. But I was just thinking it was maybe because, I mean, he literally is trying to find out information about the cult. Debbie doesn't like that. Let's snatch him back up. Let's snatch him up, find out what he knows and why he's trying to get this information. It seems like something the cult would do.
And Kyler and Darian were caught trying to harm the one officer.
I don't like the idea of harming the officer. I really like the idea of Darian, like, of the officer being closeted. And that's how Darian, one, knows who he is, like, from the local scene and everything. And makes it like an actual good thing to connect with this officer. And then later, when and if we get Darian rescued, we could also attempt to rescue this officer and let him be his true self. Like, he and the officer got taken in for what do they know and why are they trying to get this information. So they both get captured, tortured, and then later, when we go for the attempt to release them, we can try to release the officer too and let him live authentically. Release him from the evil clutches of the cult. Me? I like your eyes. Your eyes are like, yeah, maybe. I likes.
Yeah.
I do that a lot. All right, so Debbie did get a good portion of the scene rewritten. That's good. About how long is it? Like, I'm just curious. You don't have to actually tell me.
How long is it?
I'm just curious, like, what you're having to... Because rewriting scenes can sometimes be, I had to rewrite, like, a page, or I had to rewrite, like, 5 pages.
A chapter.
Or a whole chapter, or whatever. So sometimes it can be like, sometimes it's like, oh, man, and sometimes it's like, oh, fuck. Hey, Cordy. It's good to see you. How you been?
Hi, Cordy.
Actually, I know how you've been because I keep following you on everything, but, you know. I'll tell everybody else how you've been. So we're doing the usual. We're sprinting, and Sako and I are attempting to write a book live again. You know, we're doing a sequel thing.
We're doing the sequel thing.
So I'm getting to impart all of my sequel and book series writing knowledge. All right, so we got about 4 seconds till that would be the kitty again to start us. Meow. So if you like that idea with the officer and not harming him kind of a thing, and then the later saving him kind of a thing, then we can just work on that during the sprint. All right, y'all. Sprint.
Do you want to put up the timer?
Yes, because that would be a really good idea, and I should have thought about that because I'm not restarting it though. 19 minutes and 38 seconds. Go for it, y'all.
Go for it.
beep, 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 or all right. So that's the end of that sprint. How long have, excuse me, how long have we been streaming?
We've been at this for an hour and a half.
Okay. So we will probably be able to eke in one more sprint. Whether or not it's a full 20, I'm not sure. So
now the question becomes, do we want to chat through basically the climax on?
So I definitely think we need to actually talk through that with each other.
I think so too.
Not just our notes, but
yeah.
I don't think we have enough time to do it tonight.
Oh.
I mean, we can if we want to keep going. I don't mind at all, but it is very late for you, or getting very late for you, and you had a very long day. We've got a Heather.
Hey, Heather.
Getting super tired, and then
I see this.
Yay! So we might be winding down here like 30 minutes ish, but maybe not, depending on the lateness of the hour and the freshness of Sako's brain. So I don't mind. But yes, I'm glad that you could pop in and you saw. So it's essentially our stream is going to end up being on my stream every single Tuesday from 9 to 11 Eastern. However, technically every other week we are streaming on Sako's channel. I'm just gonna also direct it to mine, but make sure that you check her channel out too if you see all of Sako's pretty branding, because that's where you need to give the thumbs up and the likes.
Yeah.
I mean, do give thumbs up and likes for both. That would be great. But insane. When you see her all of her pretty Sako Tumi, aka Cass Voit stuff, make sure you like her. Make sure you like the stream that week on hers. Scribbling it down. I did submit to have it put on the Authortube like spreadsheet. So I just submitted that today.
Okay, cool.
I figured if we're gonna be doing it, then we got to let some people know, because I've been out of the game for 2 years. Most people don't even know me anymore. It's so crazy. I'll pop into a chat on like somebody's stream I know. And everybody's like, oh, we haven't seen you in forever. And somebody's like, are you new? And I'm like, yeah, I'm newer. I'm
ish.
I don't know. I'm new to you.
New to you. Yeah.
So yes, all the likes. I love it. I love when you like other people. I like when you get weird with my buttons. All right. So yeah, I think we should definitely talk about the upcoming, or the climax upcoming. What the hell?
The climax and then the stuff after.
Yes. So, well, I'm gonna scroll down. I'm not even showing the thing at this point. This is why I like my OBS so much. As soon as I change a scene, it changes everything for me. I don't have to do any work. I had to do a lot of work to get it set up, and I'm gonna have to do some more work apparently, because my sound isn't working. All right. So day 23, our showdown / climax. So this is what we have currently. I have some notes off to the side, comments that I made.
I believe we are rewriting this because
it doesn't work now.
The vampires have already sided with Satan.
Yeah. That was what I was like, well, I love the idea and I'd love to bring Mick in, but I'm worried about one. I think we could do better with Mick in book 3.
Okay.
Maybe. I'm not sure. But I think we can. Something to do with the souls of the Fae, I think would be great. whatever that means, we're supposed to start writing. So y'all feel free to start writing if you want. Sako and I have to talk a little bit longer. So yeah, I think this here, as we can see in the notes, specifically this note. So we had talked about, I think on last week with you, about the possibility of, we know that Kyler can channel spirits. Did it in book 1. Gonna have them do it again. Gonna have them do it again in book 2.
Yes.
So far, to our knowledge, or kind of, we didn't really like specify this. Kyler has been only channeling spirits that are either, I guess, it may be in purgatory or in heaven. But it would be really cool to have them channel a soul from hell, especially if they're linked to Zeb. Zeb thinks they're working on the good side, and we gotta have the vampires realize what's going on with Peggy here. So it all goes down at this moment where Kyler's just like, you know what? Let's hear from people that you might care about their opinion about what you're doing.
So less about the fallen unbound soldiers.
Well, so we hadn't brought that in yet. That doesn't come in until like this next part.
Right.
And here I'm thinking, because the rescue from it doesn't completely make sense here either. Because the rescue from
it's basically, what does a level 11 effect of their powers?
Yes, but that's going to be here where we basically have Kyler. I mean, we can move. We've got, okay, let me scroll back up just a tiny bit so we can see both of them. Day 23, we've got the climax, which is the big bash where Michael comes down and goes, "What the fuck are you doing? You're going to stop doing this now." And Peggy's like, "But I got an army, and I got a really powerful one." So then it just flows right into the rescue from without. Doesn't have to be, any time span. It can flow right into Kyler going, "I think I got somebody's opinion you'll care about." And to Zeb, and being like, "I'm going to break this army." Just my thoughts and ideas.
So it's less about Kyler having control over spirits.
Yeah, I think it's going to be more about Kyler having, or at least what we've led up to so far that I'm following along.
So maybe the rescue without is Zebby's dad.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Or we keep Zebby's dad in the climax, and rescue from without is actually Justicia literally showing up finally and being like, "You gotta pick a side, dude." And that's where, like Kyler has the whole, "I've sided with the Unbound," which makes sense then when the next part is the crossing of the return threshold. And they're just like, "Sorry, council."
Yeah, exactly.
I picked a side. And it would also indicate that Justicia has maybe also picked a side without actually coming out and saying it. But I don't know. It's a hell of a learning curve, Heather.
It's a bit of a learning curve, and it's a bit of a memory hog.
It can be, yeah. So I would make sure whatever system you have has definitely enough memory to run it. Don't be running anything else because it's gonna cause all of these lag issues.
Oh, what we're doing right now is
Well, so sharing the screen I found is not usually sharing one screen is not usually a problem.
uh-huh.
But I have to upload things like the timer as a video. I have to upload any type of transitions or anything as videos. I can't just share the screen to an existing whatever and play it. So that is kind of an issue. The best way I can think to describe working with OBS initially is if you understand layers in Photoshop, then you'll understand how to set up layers in your OBS to make it do all the cool, nifty looking things.
Yeah.
And change scenes and do all of that stuff. If and when you need a little help with it, Heather, feel free to tap me, okay?
Hi, Key.
Seen you in ages, darling.
Forever.
Of course, that's mainly my fault entirely. With the whole like 2-year sabbatical thing. But it is very good to see you. I'm very happy to see you.
It is very good to see you.
Okay, so yeah, I'm thinking if we're gonna do the whole like we know, so the only thing at this point I'm pretty sure that we've done, and I'd have to double check this for continuity, is have brain processing is have Kyler be able to tap into the living dead powers and abilities. Because right now, Kyler can channel, but we haven't said anything about them being able to tap the powers of the dead. And if what we've got here, the bring back the souls, that's a hell of a power up.
It is a hell of a power up.
Yeah, so I'm thinking we have powered up Kyler a lot in this one. If we're going to do that, I think we should keep that to book 3.
Okay.
If we're going to do that, I love it. I love it. I want to power Kyler all the way to the moon. I want to make them a walking god, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I think it's a bit too much and makes the power, we powered on top of power. Like we got the Mario, we got the tail, he can fly, he's got all the stars, he's eating all the mushrooms, like whatever. So that's kind of my thought there. And then that would allow us also, because in book 3, then that would give us not just the undead vampire Mick, but it preferably would actually give us the real Mick, who is noticing that souls of the dead are no longer dead. Kind of his domain. So, yeah, dealing life disruptions. That's been my whole 2 years.
I know those feels.
Yeah, life disruptions are the worst. Getting back to writing, that's good. I mean, regularly, we all go through cycles, whether we can regularly write or not. But it's good to be picking it back up. Really, it's only been, 3 weeks that I have been, like, regularly writing, because basically, Sako and I are like, book 2. And, and I was like, and I'm going to write regularly now. It's like, yeah, sure. Tuesdays work for me. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, pretty much. If you understand the layers, then you kind of have a grasp of at least how to move things around in OBS. Like I said, just feel free to tap me when you decide you want to do it. But it definitely is a memory hog. It takes a lot to run it. So, okay. All right. So we'll take this out of here. reserve, although I want to put it aside. I want to put aside a whole bunch of these things for book 3. that's what I've been doing a lot of. So I'm gonna take it out of here for right now, and I'm gonna just randomly put it somewhere for a moment in a Google Doc.
In a giggle doc?
In a giggle doc. All right, so it's now an untitled thing that's now in our shared folder. So, okay. So this one, oh, hell, what did we say was going to be here? Oh yeah, this is Justicia, right? That's what we decided on here.
Yes. Justicia is the rescue without. I like the idea of So Zebi, because I was thinking the fight against Zeb would be like a faux climax.
The problem with that is that if we reveal Zeb, I mean, they can have a fight. They can have like a physical fight before that. But this would be the like Zeb gets whomped with realizing that his righteous father that maybe handed him this church went to hell.
Yeah.
Like it did not earn him a place in heaven. And his daddy comes back and he's like, stop it. You're not on heaven's side. Get on heaven's side. Or else you're going to end up like me. And sure. that actually makes Zeb go, like, confess to the vampires, maybe. Of, hey, it wasn't heaven, like, killing you. It was us killing you because this lady over here said so. And then we get Peggy's reveal.
Peggy's reveal.
So,
and with Lucifer comes.
Lucifer doesn't come. Satan.
I
know, it's a hard, it's a thing. Like, I did it all the time too until I went for my degree for world religions. I did it all the time. Like, Lucifer and Satan are the same thing. I had read the Bible, I don't know how many times at that point, and still thought it. But then the 7 princes of hell is very clear that Lucifer is pride, who actually rules over hell, and Satan is wrath, and is just like a prince in hell. So I did it all the time too.
Hi, Jenna.
Hey.
We're just wrapping up.
Yeah, we're kind of wrapping up, but we've been kind of talking through our last sprint a little bit because Sako and I needed to verbally banter. Slowly rewriting books 2 and 3, now books 3 and 5. Writing a novella-ish. It's now book 4. This sounds eerily familiar. Formerly book 4 in planning. Book 2, formerly book 4 in planning, is done. Just waiting to see the light of day. Yeah.
Yay.
Can't wait to see it too. Also, all of that, me. Everything I write. Every single thing. It's terrible. So yeah, so it's kind of going to be like the rescue from without. It just kind of is rolled right on into the climax. Because it's all going to be basically the same scene. It's just going to be the order of events will be different.
Jeez.
Yes? No?
Jeez.
Yes, okay. It sounded like you said cheese, and I was like, well, that might be yes.
Cheese.
I was like, it might be yes. I'm going to double check. All right, so this would be, make our little change here. I think I can just steal my comment over here. Okay. I kind of just steal the comments off to the side because they're going to go away anyway as soon as I.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's make this what we've actually been looking at. It bugs me when it's all weird.
Oh, I just tell it to clear formatting.
Yeah. Yay! So we know that people are, night owls.
Yeah.
But at least you were just going to bed, which is what Sako will probably be doing very shortly.
Maybe.
I, on the other hand, I'll be up for several more hours because it's very early here on the West Coast. Speech to text, gotta love it.
You're
such a writer going back, correcting your speech to text. I do it all the time. Okay, so we've got that here. Channels. Soul, Deb's father, blah, 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 breaks Ed, blah, 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 blah. That takes place. Satan has vampire's allegiance. Michael there. Yeah, so this is where we can have literally the vampires pledge their allegiance to Peggy/Satan. And that's when Michael,
rather than plot point 3.
Huh?
Rather than plot point 3. Because as it stands, plot point 3 is when the vampires team up with Satan.
Where do we have that?
There's the midpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Plot point 3.
Well, there's plot point 1. I'm looking for 3.
I think it's funny that you don't use the document map.
Oh, yeah, I just don't.
I am addicted to it. It is with the document map that I
I see it. Here we go.
My brain. Yeah, here we go. Vampires are ready to go to war. They side with Satan to defeat Lucifer to go to war with heaven. Since vampires think the cult church is doing heaven's bidding.
Well, we are close enough that they could literally wait to pledge here. I mean, they could, this could be all plot point 3. This could be mostly internal. Internal within the vampires. Gloria's escaped and her Methuselah is dead, and the vampire grapevine is talking about throwing in their lot completely with Satan, because Satan's saying, "Hey, we'll take care of that vampire killing cult for you if you side with us."
Yeah.
So like we can like have that all here, but not actually have them pledge it until here.
Okay.
Because there's not much of a delay between those, or not much of a span, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Vampires officially pledge. Sort of. Yeah, no, I don't know why I don't use that. I know it's there. I should use it. Okay. This one. Here we go.
Okay.
Okay, so I think that puts us in a good spot for the night.
I think it does.
Because that gets over our climax and some of our hurdles of how and where and what should go in this book versus maybe reserving for book 3.
Indeed.
Okay. So here.
I'm curious. 3698 words.
Oh, you're curious about like the little extra bits that we've written, or is that just the extra bits, or is that?
That is all the bits.
Oh, that's all the bits. Okay.
I don't think it counts the commentary.
I don't think it counts the comments either. So between all of this, we can pretty much flesh almost like, I know I can kind of flesh most of this stuff out into an actual scene, which
Yeah, most of it I like.
yeah, which I mean, y'all have seen me doing it here in green.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like at least the start of a scene to like the seed to just kind of get it planted, and then Sako and I get to go back and forth on writing each individual section, or just saying that one's yours, everything. Not it.
I think I have a pretty good grasp of the first half of the book.
Oh yeah, I've like got so many images, like just like my brain is in full movie mode, like full movie mode.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why there is a wonderful thing called a vape pen, which shuts my brain down. Or painting and drawing, which also shuts my brain down. So weird.
Yeah.
It's the only time my brain is ever quiet.
Oh.
Okay. So awesome. All right. Okay, everybody. So you got to watch us really hash it out. Like really hash it out. Let's see, we covered 2 trials that we were missing. We cleaned up the diversion for day 14. We cleaned up day 15. We cleaned up day 16.
Oh, look at that kitten.
Day 17. Oh, that's my cute boy. Hey, sweet cheese, how you doing? He's my sweet cheese, my good time boy. Those are some big yawns. Big yawns.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, go back to sleep. Oh, you're gonna talk to us? You gotta meow bigger than that if the microphone's gonna pick you up. I'm gonna start micing him. I'm just gonna put a little mic over here. I'm just gonna be like, here's your little mic. Figure out how to get a little microphone strapped around his tummy so he can get all the purrs.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's come to see me now. He knows he can't walk on my actual desk, so he walked right up to the edge of the craft desk, which is what's behind. Hi, say hi, everyone.
Hi,
Spartacus?
everyone.
Spartacus Maximus Orangicus. There's my buddy. He usually likes to sit on my lap, you know. Okay. Stepped away, kitchen calling your name, distracting you. All right. Sweet dreams, I think.
Sweet dreams. See you Friday.
Okay. So that's it for tonight, everybody. You watched us hash out more of writing a sequel. So join us next week on Sako's channel.
Dare say we're almost ready to start writing.
Yeah.
We got to create a seer. We got to create an officer.
So 2 characters we need to create. We probably should put a little more detail into Julio because he didn't have much from book 1. So,
he didn't have a whole lot, but
so we'll have to put just a tiny bit in for him. But that's it. 3 characters, and we can start. I mean, we could technically start writing and just skip over those points that have those 3 characters right now, if we wanted to.
Yes.
So, yeah, awesome. So we'll be back on Sako's channel next week, same time, 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern. Sako's links are all down below, including where you can give her monies and where you can talk to her that isn't on a stream, stuff like that.
Yes.
So thank you, everybody, my writing weirdos. I want to say thank you to Sako for writing with me again. I love it. All right, Sako, do you want to do your sign off?
My sign off. Howdy neighbors, I'm Sako Tumi, also known as Cass Voit. I write horror and I'm a witch and I'm a graphic designer, and sometimes I combine those 3 things and I game and I do a bunch of shit. If you like this video at any point, I encourage you to hit the like button, and if you would like to see more streams like this one, you might want to subscribe and maybe even ring that bell on the off chance that YouTube actually notifies you when she goes live. And we will catch you guys on the flip side.
Absolutely, writing weirdos. Have a great night. See ya all next week. And this is the end of the video.